We talked about the town of Sundance and how it got its name, but I think the name of the ceremony in general is pretty sacred to many tribes yet. It's actually a very strong religious ceremony for us. The origin changes from tribe to tribe. They got different stories. Some feel that that story came from this gentleman walking and he came across a buffalo skull. And he looked inside that buffalo skull and had a vision and seen how this dance was going to be performed. I know, but most of them are pretty similar of how this came to be. You know, it's a ceremony that reflects good health and I guess something that keeps indigenous people stronger throughout the years. Some may have a lodge, build a lodge where only 12 or 15 people go in. Some have 100 dancers in there. You know, it just depends on who sponsors it and how they go about it. What I know, because I have participated in a few, at least on the Wind River, we do not pierce. Northern Cheyenne and some tribes in South Dakota still do the piercing yet, where they pierce themselves and leave scars, and some drag buffalo skulls around. Here we just fast for 3 days and 3 nights. The dancers that participate in it, they welcome in the sunrise. They dance hard even though they're thirsty and hungry. And at the end of the ceremony, then they go eat, have a feast basically. A lot of tribal people participate and go up to the Sundance grounds, and some camp there. And like I said, it's a means of healing. It's a means of getting more strength for your tribe, and something that has been around for a long, long, long time. You know, it's very powerful to be in the presence of that ceremony.
The name Sundance is from the Native American ritual. As legend goes, they did it at the base of Sundance Mountain, and the early settlers saw them in the early 1870s. There was a lot of mining to the north of us, and there were miners and settlers up there, and they saw these ceremonies going on down below, and they called it Sundance and Sundance Mountain. This whole area was very sacred to them. They said that they took care of the buffalo and they kept them in the valleys where the green grass was, almost like cattle herds. And the top of the hills, like Green Mountain, Indian Cara, and Sundance Mountain, were lookouts. So they could sit up there and watch the whole valleys and looking for other aggressive tribes coming in. Sundance was a draw because of the gold. Deadwood was starting to do the big gold rush. We had gold mines to the north of us in the Bear Lodge Mountains. And then when Albert Hogue established a ranch in 1875, he found there was a lot of freight wagons coming through, going to Deadwood in 1876, and decided he was going to build a trading post down by the creek. And there were more and more people kept coming in, wanting to buy property from Albert Hogue, wanting to put a saloon in, wanting to put a restaurant in. Cafes, and he decided to start selling pieces of his ranch off, and they ended up calling the town Sundance after the mountain. From the very beginning, when he wrote up the plans, Sundance was going to be the county seat. We were still Dakota Territory at this time, and he knew what he wanted, and it happened for him. Incorporated in 1887. He designed the streets so 12-horse teams could turn around in from hauling freight, so they're extra wide. Now today we use them for horse trailers and RVs to park in the middle. The gold and the logging industry is what really got Sundance going. Back in the 1880s, we had 3 or 4 mercantiles, we had 6 saloons, we had 5 churches, and we're trying to get that back again. Being off Interstate 90 really helps to keep town going. The Black Hills are a huge draw for us, and Devil's Tower, of course. That will be our draw, will be the tourism. It's always been a main thoroughfare to the Black Hills. It was also used by the migration of the buffalo, by the migration of the elk. They all came through this valley, and so along with them came the Native Americans. We knew him as Harry Longbow. He was was a hired hand that worked on ranches throughout the area. He was originally from Pennsylvania. He came out west and settled with his uncle down in Cortez, Colorado. From there, when he got old enough, he started working on ranch and being a ranch hand throughout Colorado and Wyoming and Montana. Started working at the 3V Ranch north of town here, about 30 miles. And in the fall, the rancher didn't need him anymore, so he released him, and he ended up taking a horse and a gun and a saddle with him. So we have the indictment papers for him in our archival area. He was 17 years old at the time he was here, so he was still a kid. When Sheriff Ryan went to look for him, the telegraph came out and he said, yeah, Harry Longbow is up in Miles City, Montana. So our sheriff ran up there and got him. And then Sheriff Ryan does another strange little thing. With Harry Longbow in custody, he decided to go check on some cattle business in St. Paul. Around Duluth, the kid escapes. Sheriff Ryan wrote a letter to the Sundance Times telling his story, saying, I ended up taking Harry Longbow with me to check on some cattle business, and he escaped. I'm sorry. So when he got back to Sundance a couple weeks later, there was another telegraph going, Harry's still in Miles City, what's going on? So that little timeline is a little odd for us because we really don't know if Ryan was telling the truth or not. You know, did he not see him up there? Did he not find him? We don't know. And how did he escape? He was supposedly shackled to the seat. From there, he went up and got him again. This time, put him on a stagecoach, brought him back to Sundance. Found him guilty of grand larceny for stealing a horse and a gun, got sentenced for 18 months. During those 18 months, he tried to escape twice. He pulled the pins out of the door once, and he hit the deputy over the head the other time. Both times he was caught. They brought him back, and about 2 weeks before his sentence was up, our Justice of the Peace contacted the governor and said, you know, we got Harry Longbow in here. I was wondering if we could let him go on early release on good behavior, even though he tried to escape twice. And the governor said, sure, we can do that. They did that a lot back then, you know, a lot of early releases, and, you know, and like I said, the kid had to have been a smooth talker. He had him under his thumb. He knew what he could do and couldn't do. So when he left, he had a clean record, and he was known as Harry Longbow until he hooked up with the Wild Bunch. And they started robbing the banks and trains, and since he was sentenced here for 18 months as a kid, they called him the Sundance Kid. The city of Sundance has embraced it very well. The townspeople are having trouble with us, you know, having a statue of the Sundance Kid, but he is such a big draw, and they see how many people sit on the bench next to the Sundance Kid and get their photo taken, and they're finally accepting that, you know, we're not immortalizing him, we are using him as a draw for my tourist. With everything that's been going on in the last, you know, couple years of how tourism has really come to the main point for Sundance, they're realizing that, you know, the kid is our draw and we've got to use him. You can still see remnants of the old town. Well, even when you walk at night in town, the smell of the pine trees come down, walk downtown, and they say it feels different here. You know, you can feel the history. Just a unique area. We're nestled in between two mountains, a beautiful little downtown area, cool summer nights, just a beautiful, beautiful area, and you kind of feel why we're here and why the Native Americans were here, and just you can touch it, you can feel it, you can smell it. It's all pretty cool.